Hi, welcome to Coffee and Tea with Aeson and Natalie. How are you, darling?
I'm doing all right. Hang on one sec. My headphones decided to just like do something funky again.
Uh huh.
Let me see if I can get you turned. Hang on. One sec. BRB. I'm gonna get my other headphones because my other
Okay.
ones are like this, like better, I guess. One sec.
All right. So while she's getting that, and I'm getting caught up. Sorry, guys. I just came out of a very long session. It has been a week. It has been a week. It has been a week, and it continues to be a week. But I also wonder if if we are the only like adults anymore. Natalie. Doo-doo-doo. She froze. Oh no.
Hang on one sec. I'm gonna leave and come right back in again. One sec.
All right. There we go. We'll pull her out. She'll be back. So, how's y'all guys' weeks? Of course, as you're coming in, tell us what your win is for the week. It is only Thursday. Do you have any exciting plans for this week, Miss Shannon? Hello, sliding into your seat. Love to see you at the table. Hope you brought something strong and caffeinating.
Oh, there we go. Now
Hello.
I can hear you just fine in both ears instead of just one. Helpful.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
I
Now
was
we
like,
can
what is
stop
going
freezing
on? Okay. Am I freezing?
a little.
Am I?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
Mm,
Hopefully that stays.
stays as it should.
Hopefully that stays. Hopefully that stays. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Shannon.
Yep, she's cooking something.
Bring me
I
food.
haven't cooked for 3 weeks. Well, going on two. We got one more week of me not cooking. And then I guess I'll have to cook a lot for one day and then live on that for 3 weeks. This is really
Right.
wow.
Like cook one meal that's gonna at least feed you for like a few days because
Oh
who
no,
has
hey,
time?
I'm like fucking bulk cooking for 3 weeks at a time. I think I'm gonna try to go for four. Like
Are
that,
you really?
like 1 more pound of ground beef to this, and probably 3 more pounds of chicken. I can cook one time a month and be
I
done.
mean, I there's this piece of me that's like, if I could cook like four shepherd's pies in a whole day and like deep freeze them,
Uh huh.
perfect. Um, but unfortunately, I don't have a deep freezer, so there goes half of that dream. Uh,
Well, you've got that deep freeze above your refrigerator.
yes, but that's also filled with other foods that we also need to eat throughout the weeks and months.
Oh, okay.
So it's not very big. So it's like, okay. I guess like doing monthly prep ahead meals is not in the realm of my possibilities at this moment. That's fine.
Well, that's okay. You can always hop on Marketplace and look and get you a deep freeze like $50.
You know, we do need to get it. I do need to get deep freeze. I'd like to get one.
Yeah. And you can do more than shepherd's pies. I mean, I've done like spaghetti and chili and like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so many yummy things.
yes. And, we, make a monthly menu and then just build it up. Because think about it. How many times do you make something with ground beef, onions, and bell pepper and garlic?
At least maybe once a week.
Yeah. So you just fry up
At
all
least.
that at one time.
Right. I mean, it just kind
Yeah.
of depends on what everybody else is kind of wanting, but at least once
Right.
once a week, if not at least every 2 weeks at least
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah. And then, how many times do you need baked chicken for something?
Right. Exactly. And I would like I would have to do like weekly side shopping, just like random things that I would like be wanting or craving and stuff like that. But it's like if I didn't want to cook, then it would just be something just throw in the oven and just not even have to worry about doing
Right.
because it was already done.
Yeah, it's already done. And I throw it into my slow cooker, and it's over with.
Right. And it's like with the amount of chronic pain that I'm in, it's like I never know day to day or hour to hour what I'm going to be like. I could be doing great and like active and like getting dishes done or whatever, and then I hit this certain point where my body goes stop.
All right.
And then I'm like, okay, so I had every intention of cooking like this massive meal, and now I have absolutely zero spoons left in my drawer to
Right.
give out. Like
Yeah.
I suddenly had to spend all of mine. Okay, so
Right, and that's the other thing that this has been great for is it's dealt, it deals with my chronic pain, it deals with my chronic issues. They're all
right,
handled. I don't have to, it's all ready to go. All I got to do is have a quarter of a spoon to throw it into the crock pot,
right, exactly.
and then it's
I would
one.
have I would have like I would have multiple curries, like vegetable curries and chicken curries, already cooked, ready to go. All I would literally have to do is put on some rice in the rice cooker, which takes all of a few minutes to do after you wash your rice, folks.
Yes, stop
Um,
cooking dirty rice.
just
Just
if you have problems making rice, wash it. That
right,
might be most of your problem.
right.
But yeah, like it would just be so quick and easy to just like throw it in the microwave on defrost and then heat it all up together, you know
Well,
what I
not
mean?
even that. Just pull it out and lay it on the counter.
Yeah. And just be like, there you go, scoop it and shove it in the microwave.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Dinner is
All right.
served.
Dinner.
Home cooked, but it was home cooked and relatively fresh.
Well, it's fresh as long as it's done that way. And
Yeah.
let me.
It was fresh when I made it 3 months
Right.
ago.
Oh,
Yeah. We used to have a deep freeze in the UK that just triggered such a funny memory for me. My brother was obsessed with, and I'm sure a lot of people might not know what this show is, but it was called Thunderbirds.
hmm
And it was this puppeted TV show where there was like a family of superheroes, and they all had their own rocket ship, spaceship, whatever. Anyway, so my brother was obsessed, and my mom made a Thunderbirds cake and put like these chocolate letters on there. And my mom one day went in there to check on the cake, like the morning after she had made it, and found that like things had been taken off of the cake, and she assumed it was my brother who had snuck down to take a peek at the cake and just ate some of the letters off of it. And
hmm
so she said nothing, she's like, I will give him this pass. All right. I'll give him a pass. I'll replace the letters and say nothing. Okay, I'll let him get away with it this time. Next day, same thing, but like more stuff had been taken from the freezer, or like it was obvious that something had like stuff had been moved and pieces of the cake had been taken off. And my mom was like obviously getting really upset, confronts my brother and says like, we know that you're excited about your birthday, but stop eating the letters off the cake. And he was in tears, adamantly saying, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. Turns out there was a group of like teenagers who were breaking into people's garages at night, and anyone who had a deep freeze or any food or anything like that, they were stealing the food and taking it back to their house. So they were not only taking our food, but also sampling the chocolate letters off of my brother's birthday cake before his birthday party.
How rude.
I know. They caught the guys though.
Good.
They did. I asked my mom about that several months ago, and I was like, did they ever find out who that was? Like, I don't think I ever remember asking you. Did they know? Did they figure it out? She's like, yeah, I think that they did. And they ended up returning a bunch of food to people, but there was no way to say like whose food was whose. So you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, if it was unopened, I would probably claim something of mine back. But my mom's like, I couldn't even remember what we had in that freezer.
Oh goodness. No inventory. What? Inventory.
Inventory. Oh yeah, something. I was like, maybe. Ever since then, they've had they put a lock on the deep freeze. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that they had like they made sure that there was like a key on the thing. I laughed so hard.
Yep. Well, I grew up one that had a lock. Like it came with a lock. Like, I don't understand when they stopped putting locks on refrigerators and deep freezers.
Right, like when did they start doing that? Or when did they stop doing that? Like when did that become a necessary thing? But I guess it's like, it became an issue at some point where people were complaining about the lack of security on their deep freezes in the garage.
Right.
So I guess GE or whatever was like, let's start putting locks on our freezers for an extra $100. Hey Nikki, I had a feeling you'd show up in here. Like, this girl has not seen enough of my face recently.
Yeah. Oh, in August of 1956, the act applied to all refrigerator manufacturers in the U.S. that after October 31, 1958, and is largely responsible for the adaptation of the magnetic mechanism that is used in today instead of latches.
Right. So like the closure of it, but when did the lock start being a thing?
1956.
1956. Wow.
Yep.
Well, it had already been a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I guess like they had even taken tools from people as well, like screwdrivers and wrenches and just like random little things. Like if you had it laying out, they were gonna take it.
Right.
Because if it made noise, they weren't going to. They were brave. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Right. They were brave because my mom was like, I was always home. Like somebody was always home. She's like, how did we not hear that?
You were asleep.
Yeah, but we're out in the back, mowing the lawn or something like that. Right. Like they would take an opportunistic moment where like no one's paying attention.
Right.
Crazy stuff.
The relatively brand new ones are relatively cheap.
Relatively new.
No, brand new ones are relatively cheap, $168.
That's not that bad.
No, it ain't like
I'm saving up for cars though. I need a car before I need a freezer.
True.
It's one of those things.
Happening with the old car.
Well, since the brakes failed, we got that taken care of, and then something else was going wrong with the car. I'm not even sure. It's been a whole ride. Nikki can tell you all about it. My car's been at her house more than it has been at my house for the past few months because her husband was taking a look at it for me. But it's just been, it was like the radiator and then the brakes went out. And then whatever was going on with the brakes. Oh, we had the brakes fixed, but then there was like an issue with the brake light. And then so we had to take it to another place and have it fixed. And now we had it come back and the car overheated on the way home from the Beltane Festival. Oh, my car overheated going up the hill. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know. Nikki's named my car Ursula. She just named it Ursula. It's like, and it wants to die, and I just won't let it. I keep giving it paddles. Like, come on, just a few more months, baby. Just a few more months. We can do it.
It doesn't look that bad. It just looks
it's structurally though. Like it's all rusting out on the bottom. There's things that are hanging and that they drag on speed bumps, and for some reason, like every mechanic's like, it's absolutely fine. Like there's nothing wrong with your undercarriage. And I'm like, but it obviously makes a noise when I go over anything that has a bump in it.
Right.
I'm like,
designed not to have bumps underneath it.
Right.
Very low. Like I was expecting.
Right. And I'm like, so it's just not, this car was not built for West Virginia. It was built for Arizona, where I purchased the vehicle.
Yes. But it's a gorgeous ride. I mean, I could see the potential there.
I mean, if you want it, you can buy it and like put some work into it if you really want to.
I know. I've debated.
I'm like, it needs some work. I know that there's like an issue with like the roof that needs an adjustment or something like that, but
it probably needs aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But I think I have a car. I think I have a car lined up.
Well, good.
We'll see.
I've fallen in love with a car that isn't a convertible. I just, Have to find a bank that likes to deal with my insanity of
Right? Like, I just have to find a bank that's willing to be crazy enough to let me buy it.
yes.
Yep.
It's a
You just gotta wait for the right person to just do the whole fuck around and find out kind of thing. Like, hey, you feeling crazy? I'm feeling crazy. Want to do something crazy? How about you let me buy that car over there?
And I'll go buy it on Christmas Eve and just be an ass to the salesman.
Right. I mean, like, do you want this sale? Do you want to go home to your family? I'm not going anywhere until this car's in my possession. So it's up to you on how fast you get paperwork going, son.
Exactly.
Like, listen, you don't want to be here. I just want that car. So can we just hurry this up?
Like, I know the car I want. I know the options I want. I know what I'm willing to pay for it. I know what the MRSN is worth it, and I know what it's worth the minute I pull it off this lot. Here's the price I want. This is the payment I want. Get to it.
Right, exactly. When I bought that car, I actually worked for the car dealership. And I was a receptionist over at the main lot, and that car was over on the used lot, which was like a separate offset from the dealership that I was on. So you'd have to like literally drive to a separate lot, but it was still part of the same thing. Anyway, I had been filing updated invoices and updated ticket numbers for cars that were still on the lot.
Right.
Because whenever they change prices, we'd have to change them in our paper files as well. So that was like part of my job as well. And I had seen, I was like, this car had been like the take-in date, or the lot take-in date was like, it was one of like the oldest cars that this property or this company had. Like, it had been on the property for a long time, in comparison to all the other cars' turnaround rates. And so I was like, I've got just under their asking price in my savings account presently. And I took the bus here kind of thing, And so it's like, I wonder if I called over there and got like some kind of employee discount, and I did. So I paid well under their asking price because they just wanted to get rid of the car.
Right.
And yeah, it was super easy. I was like, I walked away and I was like, that was the easiest thing I've ever done. I was like, see all these other people in here stressing out. And I was just like, here's the money.
Yeah. Give it to you.
Got a customer service rep and also when you're ready. Yep.
And always make them put a fresh tank of gas in the car. Whenever you buy a car, like, that is a negotiational point. You have a full tank of gas? Nope. All right, then let's talk about that $70.
Right, exactly. I'm like, listen, do you know the cost of gas right now? How are you going to compensate me for that?
Yeah. Oh,
even car rental companies, they're like, just put it back where it was. For God's sake, just put it back where you found it.
So I started my latest I want to buy vehicle. Renting this one. The one I had at Beltane.
Yeah, the one that like swerved out of the way to like prevent you from like near death on the highway, and you're like,
It did not swerve out of the way. It hit its own brakes.
That's amazing, though. See, okay, so I had like this full-blown like freak out when I borrowed Nikki's car and it had like the reverse camera, and I was like, I don't even know how do you turn the car on? She's like, there's a button. I was like, since when do cars turn on with a button? What the hell is the key for now? Are they obsolete? I was like, this is so confusing. And like, they just know that as long as you have the key, it knows you're in the car. And I was like, this is not okay.
Oh, I love it.
Everything about it was just so utterly confusing and delightful to me all at the same time. You know what I mean? So it was just like, and then I got my car back and I was like, oh, this is kind of ho-hum. There's no bells or whistles on this one. There's no buttons to push that does anything fancy. it doesn't know I'm in the car. I mean, it does because it probably groans in exasperation and pain. It's all right.
Yeah. And as far as my customer service and the rep in the pocket, I don't know if you really want me on that edge of the thing after the conversations I've had the past 3 days.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I have not been cordial. I haven't been friendly. I have been a dick.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm like going to take a deep breath. My guys are like, do you really want to say? I was like, probably not.
No.
I love you, Aeson.
Dude goes, I promise you, this will be our first priority Tuesday.
The car.
Fine. Not a problem. Calling Tuesday. For those following the saga, it was supposed to be ready last Friday.
Right.
But the part he was going to put on the car was part of the same recall.
I was going to say, I'm like, didn't they try replacing it with an already recalled piece? And it was a completely different. I was like, I'm reading Joe's thing, I'm like, I'm trying to keep up with the way that this is unfolding.
Right.
I was like, so they replaced it with a broken piece, or no, it was a recall piece. So like, what is happening right now?
So it's the same recall piece. It is that they were going to put on it. Kia refused to allow them to replace it, so I'll have to give them a cookie for that one. Okay. So they got to order the part. They're waiting for the part to come in. It'll be in Monday. It'll be his priority on Tuesday. He's sorry. It is the best he could do for me. Yada fucking yada. All right, fine. They open at 8:30. This repair call is 1 hour repair. Call him at 10:30. So what's the
Is my car ready?
Is my car ready? Oh, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it.
It wasn't even in the bay.
It was not even in the bay.
That's what I just said. I was like, it wasn't even in the bay when they said that. Come on.
Right.
It's fun when people lie to us, isn't it, Aeson? Because we're sitting there going, do you honestly think I'm stupid?
Right. So I said, all right, I'll call you at 4:30. I'll call you when we have it done. I'll call you at 4:30.
No, you won't be calling me when it's done. I will call you to say I'm coming to get my car.
Calling 4:30. Oh, we're having trouble. It's been a really busy day. Yada yada yada. We've not gotten it done. You've had 2 weeks. You knew that this part, it pulled into your lot knowing that this is the part that needed to be replaced. You, A, didn't order it. You, B, probably don't even have it yet. And you're being an ass. So I suggest you stop lying to me and get this car repaired.
Right.
Sir, it'll be the first thing we do in the morning. All right.
So where's your car, Aeson?
Oh. So you've been in the office for an hour and 1 minute. What's the status of my car? I'll definitely have it ready for you today, sir. All right, I'll call you. Oh, no, sir, I'll call you and confirm phone number, yada, yada, yada.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
So I call him at 3:30. So how's it coming? Oh, he's trying to, these old cars he's having trouble getting a brake line attached. Oh, you broke a brake line. Oh, no. You broke a brake line. Now, don't be bullshitting me. This is a fucking aluminum line. It is not hard to break. You're an idiot. Is this your friendly service that you promise on your vision statement?
Right.
Small business. Make sure that your vision statement matches what you do. Your customer will get a little pissed.
That's called false advertising.
Yes. I'll call
If you're like me, calling myself a psychic medium and not being able to connect with anybody on the other side.
I'll call you back in an hour, sir. No, you won't. I'll call you in an hour and 3 minutes because you won't call me. I know you don't call me. So I call him back at 5:18. Sir, we couldn't get it attached, so you couldn't get the part from Napa. Okay, that's cute. He's got to tap the line tomorrow, so he's going to try to fix it tomorrow. Okay. We'll have it ready for you tomorrow. Okay, so you're overnighting the part. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wonders why, when the other lawsuit gets approved, I am calling Shannon and talking to Shannon about the cheapest towing possible to get this down to Moses, to have Moses fix it. Because I'm not dealing with Friendly Auto.
Well. It's like, if you buy a Kia, you got to take it to the Kia dealership. Do you though?
Yes, according to the lawsuit, you do.
Oh, well, according to the lawsuit.
Right, because Kia has to pay for the repair.
Right, because it's their part that's faulty.
Right, because my mechanic was willing to take off the faulty part, take it to the garage and exchange and put the part on at my expense. They refused to give him the part.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's idiotic.
It's the lack of right to repair.
They're already scared of Shannon. They'll just take it back. Yep. Just see Shannon coming, driving down. You're like, oh no. Run.
Yeah. Oh God, here comes that little blue car. Who's that white car right behind her? Oh, yep. Shit. Oh no, you're not licensed for Kia? Crap.
Find someone who is. Privately licensed. Not dealership style.
Well, no, because they have to go through a licensed, reputable dealer.
Right.
Now, the whole time he's been trying to push me into an oil change, which I just had my oil change. He's been trying to get me to do this, get me to do that. He made a comment about it being old. 2008. It ain't even 20. Much less 25 years old.
Mine's a 2005.
I know. It's cute.
Like me.
I've owned one of those before. The only problem that I ever had with it is it does not do well in ice.
It doesn't. But it was what cracks me up is like every single time they're like, "What color is your car?" And I'm like, "Well, it kind of depends on like which way you look at it. It's sometimes it's green, and then it's like a peacock blue, and then there's like teal in it. So I don't even know what color my car is.
Metallic green.
Right. I'm like, but then it's like this aqua-esque to it. I was like, it's like a peacock. All got blended up on it. That's my opinion.
Right.
I like it.
Yep. But no, like this is the last Kia I will ever own. I'm really in love with a Nissan.
Which one? The Nissan what?
The Nissan Sonata. Here.
Sonata?
Yeah, I'll bring up the picture. I've been drooling about it.
I might be purchasing the vehicle that I passed my driving test in, which I find hilarious. I was like, boy, that's full circle, isn't it? I've already test driven the thing. I already know it drives well.
Well, what's sad is if I do that for mine, it'll be worth more than I paid for it.
Right.
And, that's because it's a 1974 Grand Prix prick.
Grand Prix prick. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out right now.
How is the photo unavailable, but you show a photo on this freaking website? Fine.
Be that way.
Yep.
That's how I am with the internet. It's like, you don't want to work? That's fine. Don't
Right.
care. Or see if I care. Although I was cursing at my sewing machine last night because it just did not want to cooperate with me at all.
Uh-huh.
I was so mad. I was like, fine, I will stop. I'm just going to walk away. Because for some reason, just didn't want to sew two pieces of fabric together. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I got it to work now.
This right here.
So that's nice.
Yes. And it's, you know, it's about $2,000 above price. We need to find a desperate car person.
Right.
Yeah. I.e., they need a sale. They can find some financing that's easy, but they just need pay stubs from a statement from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shannon, you have that one. Supposedly, it's in transit.
It's in transit. Like, it's on its way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's at the superstore.
Is that like the Walmart Supercenter?
I don't know what it is.
Like, what's the difference? Is there a regular?
I don't know. It just says Auto Group Supercenter.
What makes it super?
I don't know. Ask Shannon. What makes it super, Shannon?
Is there a regular versus super?
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
if there's not,
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Well, again, it's the 2023 Nissan Sentra SV. It has to be the SV model because it's the only one that has the options I want in it.
Okay. Is that the one that you test drove?
It's the one that I've rented. No, I rented a 21. The 23s can only get better. Now, I wouldn't mind a 21, but I've not seen a 21 down here. There's one in Akron, Ohio that's not the color I want. You know, so I just have to find a desperate salesman or a finance company that can handle subprime and be perfectly happy.
Right.
What I find scary is if I start having radiator problems, I'm coming up to Morgantown. We're going to have a conversation about the similarities. You know, because she has brake problems, I have brake problems. I wear black, she wears black.
Yeah. It's
I
the
wear,
whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I wear a tank top, she wears a tank top.
It's the whole thing, isn't it? It's yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming a whole thing of its own. We're going to get, you know, people are going to think that with the way
It's like we look at each other's closets and we're like, so what is the other person wearing tonight so I can just match it? You know, and they're like, wear red. Right. I think one night you wore red and I wore like an orange or a coral shirt or something like that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, we're both wearing, like, of all the colors that we could have picked, we're both wearing.
I wore orange, you wore coral. I was like, really?
That's what it was. I was like, you know, what are the odds?
I don't know.
Well, in our world, infinite, you know?
Yep. Connecting units. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's funny is, like, I've gone, like, shown up at my mom's house so that we can go out to eat or something like that or go somewhere. And she's opened the front door after I've knocked on the door, and we both look at each other. We're wearing identical outfits. Not just similar styles, like exactly the same shirt, exactly the same pants, same brand, same color, same everything. Mm-hmm. And she just opens the door and she's like, well, I have to change since you can't, you know, and immediately goes off and changes. And it would be all the time. Mm-hmm. I would show up, or she would show up at my house and I'd be like, why are we wearing the same outfit? Like, how is this happening? Yeah, it is. It's all connecting energy. Whenever whenever you find the people that like that get you and you get them and all that stuff, it you just end up just becoming so connected and similar.
Mm-hmm. Very much so, and it gets scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Orange for money.
Yes. Well, orange for activity, or red for money.
Movement.
For money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting in the fires burning up.
Right.
Getting the creative juices flowing. If anybody ever feels like stuck, like mentally stuck, like they can't think straight, or like their mind is like foggy and stuff like that, go sniff an orange or a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
It will, like, there's magic in it. Right? Just trust me on this.
Right.
I even in like some of my clarity rollers and things like that, or like energy boosting ones, they all have citrus notes to them that are uplifting, energizing, clarity, in enhancing all of that stuff. So it does, it boosts and like sets like engines going. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So the more you know.
I'm sending you a pigeon.
I am.
I'm sending Shannon a pigeon, yes.
Oh. I was like, me?
No. There we go. There's my little obsession I've been waiting for. Yep. Yes. Yep, it does boost energy. Mm-hmm.
I do. I did. I have some of these orange. Well, they are shower tabs that are energizing wake up tabs. But like you just toss them in your shower, and as soon as like the steam hits them and stuff like that, they start fizzing and sending off all of that smell. I love them. Mm-hmm. And I will even like hold them in my hand while I'm just standing there, just like doing like the final rinse off, and just standing there and just smelling all that stuff. It's lovely. I love it.
Well, that, or you can actually wrap it in a washcloth and use it in a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. That's what you can do with eucalyptus. You can actually even that, or put it in a sachet and stick it underneath the shower.
Yeah.
Yep. Works really, really good.
I even have like a recipe I'm sitting on that is an exfoliating like wake up scrub, like sugar scrub for like the mornings, that has like a lot of like bright citrus notes to it as well.
So you got to work with that. I'm going to be burning some green candles and some gold candles and making some orders for some fast lip oil. I think it's time I get back into the manifestational magic.
Right.
Yes. I just haven't found a loan oil because I don't normally do loans. I'll normally pay cash. That's my problem.
Is that your problem? You're like, yes, it is. That is my problem.
Well, and what I mean by that is I don't use credit. I paid for the house in cash. I paid for the townhouse in cash. I paid for every car but this one in cash. This one's buy here, pay here. And then we do rent a center, so it doesn't report to a credit agency either.
I don't have a credit card. Everything that I've ever purchased has been like paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
If I did have a payment plan, it was because I had purchased it off of a friend or a family member, and we had just agreed to make it simple. Rent is going to be $50 every other week or whatever, whatever it was. Whatever. And like that was it. I was like, what is the point in getting yourself into like screaming amounts of debt? I paid off my student loans, okay, because I needed to get student loans because I had to get them. There was absolutely no way at the age that I was at and the job that I had that I was going to be able to pay for that in full. But I paid those off, and since then I'm like, never again. Yep. No, thank you.
Right. Well, my problem with that is that the company I worked for paid for my schooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit different.
Well, that was the whole plan. See, this is the plan, and this is how you work this, guys. If you have a high school student wanting to go into nursing, Within a month, month and a half, a nursing home near you will have nurses aid classes.
Yeah.
Go in there, take the 6-month training, get the nurses aid job, work that for a year. Go and talk to your benefits counselor. And your benefits counselor will go for them to pay for your LPN. You do that, that's a year program. You get your LPN free and clear, and you're paid and going to school and working at the same time. Then you do LPN for 2 years, and then they will pay for your RN as long as you will work for them for 4 years. By the time you're done, you're either their DON or you've got all the way up to your master's in nursing
Right.
free.
Yep.
Yep.
Finishing up soup. Now I want soup.
Soup?
Oh, I want soup and a grilled cheese.
Yes.
But I have a Subway sandwich. But I will probably do the grilled cheese tomorrow.
Yeah. We don't have a good Subway here.
You don't?
No.
Well, there's 2 near us, but it kind of depends on, it just kind of depends,
Right.
you know, on the day.
Right.
Stuff. There have been times where I've called both of them to see, I'm like, how many meatballs do you have left right now? Like, I realize it is 8 p.m. and you close in an hour, but how many meatballs do you have? You know, like before I come down there, just asking, is it going to be worth my time? Do you have a lot of red onions on hand? Because I'm going to ask for an obscene amount of them, and I need to know that you are ready for me to show up at your store.
Right.
So yeah, like I love red onions on my sandwiches. So.
And that's red onions are really good on sandwiches. However,
I love red onions.
Well,
the spicier, the better, in my opinion. I love a red onion that burns. Like, it's so spicy. And it doesn't make sense as to why it's so spicy, because the one that you had the day before was sweet. They came from the same bag. I love it.
See, I'm a Vidalia boy. I want a Vidalia. If I'm eating onions, I want Vidalias. I want real Vidalia sweet onions.
My mom once, she took me to, I think it was probably either a Sainsbury's or a Safeway in England. And I was like, I just started eating like Whole Foods, you know, like I was just into like biting down on stuff. And my mom, you know, I'm sitting in the little cart seat in the very top of the cart. My mom turned around to put something in a bag and turned around, and there I was, full on mouthing an onion like it was an apple. But it wasn't like I had taken one bite. Like, I had eaten like 3/4 of this onion without, like, I was chowing down on this thing while my mom was trying to put broccoli in a bag. You know what I mean? And she turns around and she's horrified at, like, the fact that I've eaten this onion, but I'm very obviously visibly enjoying this, because at no point did I look at this going, this is disgusting. I just kept eating it. So yeah, some red onions are really sweet, and some are like, they are hot, not spicy, but like hot. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. They're hot. They can make your nose burn.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I've had some salads. I'm like, God. I'm like, my sinuses have been opened up for the first time in my life. I can smell color. You know, I'm like, what is happening? That onion is so hot. You know, so it happens sometimes.
It does.
You know what I'm talking about when you have that bite of red onion and it's like your sinuses, like something in your face cracks open and you're like, oh, that's like a hot mustard almost.
Oh, God. So my sister-in-law's made this hot mustard. I have fallen in love with it.
Really?
Love. Oh, my God. It is delicious.
Is it like a honey hot mustard? Like a sweet hot mustard? Like it's a mix of like sweet syrups and like grains?
Yeah, well, not grain. It's more smooth. It's very smooth. It's got chunks of pepper in it, but they aren't really like roast my mouth hot. They're just very flavorful, and it adds such good flavor to stuff. I tell you, she's one of the best cooks. She is. I have a really good sister-in-law. She's a wonderful cook, and she does a old food.
My mom would make this lovely, like whole grain mustard creamy chicken thing.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like you'd have to bite down on the mustard seeds, but there was just like this like little, it was just so umami. Like there were so many different layers
Of flavor.
to the sauce. You know what I mean? And it was like slow. Like it was just, I loved it. I'm gonna have to call her and be like, do you remember that creamy mustard whole grain thing that you did like those times all those years ago back in the 90s? Do you remember what was in there? Because I kind of want to make that.
Right.
You know, I was like, it's delicious in my opinion. I love mustard of all things. I mean, my grandfather, even in my grandfather's eulogy, I was like, you know, some people think that like, or say that like their grandfathers like smell like peppermints and like, you know, tobacco. And I'm like, my grandfather smelled like Coleman's mustard because he put it on everything. And Coleman's mustard is hot. Like we're talking like horseradish level, like hit you in the back of your sinuses. You're going to be smelling it for a few hours, kind of hot. And it went on everything because he had diabetes and had no like taste buds on his tongue anymore. They were gone, you know. So the only thing he could taste was stuff that he could smell, and pungent, smelly things were the way to go. So Stilton cheese and Coleman's mustard. That's intense.
Yeah, you know, it can be very intense. I don't know, but this isn't intense. Like, it isn't wasabi intense for me.
I mean, I love wasabi.
Yeah.
But I like spices in general, you know, as much flavor as you can possibly get. I love it.
Right.
Love it. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that, and that's been doing, you know, that has been, like, sustaining me, because it's like, okay, I can be happy with this. Because, you know, I get in these weird food cravings, and it's like, okay, these are the cravings, you know, that I got to deal with, and this is what I'm doing with them, and, you know, but this is...
I get weird food cravings, too.
Yeah, you know.
Like, I'll be like, I really want, like, chicken tikka masala right now, and they'd be like, that's random. And I'm like, is it though? Is that random? Like, whoever just decides like that's what they want, but that craving will sit with me for like a week.
It won't me. And here's why I say that.
Because you fulfill it as quickly as you feel it.
Exactly.
Oh no, I don't. I will end up putting myself through like the inevitable torture of like, I can't afford it right now, so I'm gonna wait a week and then I'll be able to buy it.
It's not that expensive. It is 3 chicken breasts and a bag of sauce.
No, it depends. Okay, there are times where I will make my own, but there are just times where some restaurants just make it like just perfect. You know what I mean? And it's like you're like you want me to pay $10 for a lamb sog or a vindaloo? Like really? Really? That's a lot of money. But then you're just like, by the end of it, you're $55 in the hole. And you're like, throw in some extra naan while you're at it.
Yeah.
I've already invested this much money. You might as well throw in some papadums while you're at it and give me an extra load of chutney. Thank you.
Have a great day. See,
right? I'm like, if you hit $40 in going out to eat, you might as well make it 60.
Yeah. Please, you know, if we're going out to eat and it's a cravings meal, I'm going Japanese and I'm ordering it because it's like
yes, give me the sushi boat. I want all the sushi.
And clear soup and the hot and sour soup and the chips that go with that and a few boba teas and some
absolutely. Like we're gonna hate ourselves. Like if I'm going to a buffet, I'm going in there with the intention that I'm going to hate my decision to eat there at the end of it. Like I'll be like, that was the worst thing I did was push myself over that limit, but I pushed myself twice. You know.
I don't do buffet because I can't control my food. I order. Yeah, that's what I decided. You know, I learned that at both ends. We can't do buffet no more.
Because you'll just keep going.
You're right, and then I get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no buffets. We're going to order our plate. We're going to organize our plate. It's going to look delicious. We can have multiple plates if we want. It's just one at a time.
Right. I don't think I've been to a buffet since pre-COVID. I think that was the last time I went to a buffet was before COVID.
Yeah, I've
I'm
gone
pretty sure.
times because my mother's favorite place is Golden Corral. And it's like, fine, we will go there, but I am having a salad and a steak, and that's it.
Yeah.
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 Because at least I can get a blue steak there. That is hard to get.
That they'll cook it blue.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, can you just like warm it up a little for me and then put it back on the plate? Thanks so much.
45 seconds on each
Yeah.
side, no meat weight. I will talk you through this process. Yes.
Right. I just want you to sear the surface. Like I just want you to dry the surface of the steak.
Exactly.
That's it. Salt, pepper, make it hot, put it on my plate.
Right.
Thank you. Don't forget the sides.
Preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
You know, I normally order, if I'm at a steak restaurant, that I'll actually cook. I'll first ask the waitress, do you actually cook to specifications? And they're like, yeah, this is fine. I want a blue steak. I want it cooked on, 30 seconds each side. If you've got a meat thermometer back there, it should read around 97 to 102. If it's more than that, it's overcooked.
Right.
And they just give me that look, and I'm like, and no meat weight. I want my juices. I need something to soften it up, I need something to soften for soppings.
I want a soft steak, dude.
Yeah.
I want it to be soft. Yeah. If I've ever met a restaurant, I'd be like, I want it medium rare, but I want it more on the rare side of medium rare. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is kind of what I'm telling you. I don't really, if I tell you rare, you'll still overcook it. So if I tell you medium rare, but I want it more on the rare side, it usually comes out perfect on my plate. Like almost every single time, no matter where I order it, I'm like, I want it on the rarer side of medium rare, and it's almost perfect every single time. It's so soft and cool, not hot at all. It's just warm through, and it's delicious.
And the only place that does not work at is at Japanese steakhouses.
Yeah.
You ain't getting rare.
Because they've got rules they got to go by.
Right.
Heaven help them if the health department shows up.
Right, especially unfortunately in this state.
Yep.
Like, I feel bad because they always get extra scrutiny. And it's like, really?
Oh, goat vindaloo. Oh my God, goat. Oh, sorry. It's been so long. It's been so long.
Yeah. Well, it took me forever to find lamb, and that's at Sam's Club, by the way. For those looking for lamb meat, go to Sam's Club.
Yes, but even then, there's not a lot of meat. Like, even their ribs, like their rack ribs, I looked at them and I was like, that is less than a lollipop's worth.
Right.
I was like, there's a nibble on those. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, they're either over trimming their cuts or not feeding their lamb, not feeding their stock enough food.
Right.
It's like something doesn't look right, because Jody and I, we, looked at it, because I've wanted roast lamb with mint sauce like so many times. It's like, I'm looking at the quality of it. I'm like, it's either way too fatty for lamb, which is supposed to be fatty. It's supposed to be oily. It's an oily, meat.
Right.
But it's like, I'm like, there's too much. Like, there's more fat than meat on that leg. And they're asking how much a pound for that leg?
58.
What?
20.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be spending $150 on the leg of lamb and wasting a third of that in fat. That's not worth it to me.
Well, what gets me, and this is what is so strange, if you go to like Britain, you go to Wales, you go to France, you go to Romania, lamb is not their choice meat. It is like the bottom rung cheap meat. You come to the United States, and anything that is not cow, beef, or chicken,
Mm-hmm.
is expensive as Hades, except seafood, which is weird.
Unless you know how to cook it really well, which my grandmother, bless her heart, she did know how to cook lamb really well.
Mhm.
Low and slow, and it was crispy on the outside. Like it had a bacon like crunch when you carved into it.
Right.
You know?
Right. But I'm like, are you kidding me?
I can almost feel that oil in my mouth now.
Mm-hmm.
You know that film that it leaves in your mouth. I know that you do. It leaves that
Mm-hmm.
that little film in your mouth. It's that little oily. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I
know. But I'm just like, the U.S. is fucked up on food.
Yep. I love food. I'm such a tourist.
I like food, but I like food that is actually good. Like,
yes. Yeah.
For me, feeling. Did you see where Governor Newsom is starting to pass some laws over there about the food that is allowed to be sold in California?
No.
Yeah, you know where it reminds me of? Britain. Some of the food regulations in Britain. Really
Yeah.
California's going to try to enforce theirs in the States. Very interesting.
It's increased waste. I think restaurants should have so many programs to reduce waste or use their waste to help
Right.
communities. I was like, how do I word this in a way that's like the right way to say it? Like, just give your food away to the homeless.
Well, not only that, a lot of these food pantries will take the food. Like, example, Little Caesars would send their pizzas that they don't sell at the end of the night over to the food pantry until corporate found out.
Right? It's a tax write-off.
Yeah, and it's like, are you kidding me? You can no longer send it because corporate won't allow you to send it. You have to throw it away.
Yeah.
The chip companies, like
because they weren't making a profit off of it.
Right, but they're writing it off on their taxes as waste.
Right, exactly.
So,
like, who's it hurting if you're going to be? It makes me mad.
If anything,
it makes me mad because I've been homeless before.
Right.
And I know what it's like to not have, and to see so much waste being thrown away, knowing that I wasn't allowed to have any of it. Like that. Sorry, like I'm trying not to like go back to that dark place, but it's like I know what it's like,
right?
To look at all these restaurants and be like, you have pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of food that you were just throwing away,
right?
That's perfectly good,
yeah.
And you're telling me that I can't have it because I'm not willing to pay you a ridiculous amount of money,
right?
That I don't have.
Right.
But it's like if I did have it, I would be buying you out every other weekend, taking my friends here. It's sad.
It's sad. It's also sad the way things are ran in the United States.
Send us both. We both got to pick up the food. We're like, now I'm gonna be like, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I'm telling my husband, bye. Let me have some soup.
You're
like, what? Where's she going? Something about soup. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw your food, my dear. That looks delicious.
Does it? Here, let me see.
Yeah, she has done lovely. Shannon looks like a really good cook. And always.
Like, where's my? Oh my god. Okay, so I love everything on there except for the cilantro. But that's just because I have like that weird thing that makes my whole mouth go, oh my god, I just put a whole bar of dial in my mouth.
Well, that just makes me question something. So when you were a child, did your mother wash your mouth out with soap?
No.
Okay.
I've had soap accidentally go in my mouth, but I have never had my mouth washed out with soap. It was probably threatened on me multiple times before the age of 8, just because of the age era that I lived in. It was probably threatened on me more than once.
Right.
Did it actually happen? No. I've known people it's happened to though.
Uh-huh.
Like I've heard the horror stories of like, I watched my brother curse out my dad and immediately he was in the bathroom with the bar of soap in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it wasn't just like, it was like they were dunking the bar of soap in the water and then putting it in his mouth. You know, I was like, oh God, no. You know,
Mm-hmm.
disgusting.
Well, you know, that's why I was like, well, how do you know it tastes like soap?
Well, okay, perfume smells, it tastes, okay, you know when you taste something, you can also smell it?
Yeah.
As well. So whatever soap smells like, whenever I eat cilantro, the taste of it goes into my nose and I can smell perfume from like an antibacterial soap.
Ah. Okay.
Does that make sense? Like it's not the taste, it's like the smell that goes into my nose afterwards. It's like if I plugged up my nose, I would not be able to taste it at all.
Right.
I don't think. It might be a little bit on the bitter side because cilantro is a little bit on the bitter side.
Right.
But I wouldn't have that taste of soap in my mouth.
Right.
But I've likened it to shampoo, you know, falling in your mouth when you're, you know, washing your hair, you know, or it getting in your nose and you can smell that smell of, you know, perfumed or you know, developed floral scent soapiness. It's so weird.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It's a gene, and it's the weirdest thing. My mom and dad both have it, and I can also taste phenylalanine, which is a chemical compound in certain diet substances.
Uh-huh.
It's a metal, like it's a powder, it's a metal substance, or it's a type of metal, and
Mm-hmm.
I can taste it on certain parts of my tongue. And for the longest time, I would say like, what was this cooked in? Because I thought it was the type of metal pot that things were cooked in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I can taste metal and things, and I thought it was like the cans, like the aluminum cans. So then I switched to bottles, and I was like, I can still taste it in the bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not because of the can. It's literally something that's in these diet drinks that I can taste, and it's leaving me feeling like I've been chewing on tin foil and baking soda all day.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it is, and I can taste or pinpoint that chemical compound in certain foods. Like my mom is like, you must be a super taster, you know. But even, you know, there's certain people in my family who I've been told can taste certain weird like elements in foods. So it must be a genetic thing that I got. But yeah, cilantro and me, we're not fun.
Aww.
Oh, Irish Spring. Oh no, even spiders don't like that stuff. Ew. Like if spiders don't like Irish Spring, I wouldn't. No thanks. I wouldn't even wash myself with that stuff.
I had a cat
Hi,
that
Shona.
would attack anyone with Irish Spring soap.
It's gross. I mean, you know what Irish Spring is good for? Hanging it from your trees and bushes to keep the deer away.
Right.
That's what Irish Spring is good for.
Right.
You don't want them eating your roses? Hang a bar of soap near your bushes.
Uh-huh.
Although, so here's my thing though. So, like, it's all well and good to hang bars of soap outside, but like when it rains and stuff, aren't you just gonna have soap in your soil?
Right.
That's just gonna mess up your soil.
Not really.
Well, if it's a biodegradable.
Well, right. I mean, all soap is fats.
Right.
And oils.
Lie. Oh no, now I just thought about Fight Club. Oh no, we don't want to think about that. Thank you very much. No thanks.
What? Fight
Lie.
Great.
The body fat in the soap. Ugh.
Yes, your body
No thanks.
can make about 4 to 5 bars of soap.
See, everybody remembers like all the fighting from Fight Club. I'm like, do you actually remember what they were doing in Fight Club? Like, do you remember like the whole fat soap thing? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you need to go back and rewatch that movie, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to what actually is going on in the movie. It's not just about fighting people, okay? Like, there was some other stuff going on. Pay attention to the storyline.
Well, that and there's a lot of forensic evidence there.
Huh?
there's a lot of forensic information there.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? Yeah, like I don't think you got the point of the whole movie. Like there's a lot of weird stuff happening in there.
Right. Well, that's like Silence of the Lamb. There's a lot of weird stuff going on there, and it's like not
Right.
all of it. And it's like go back and watch the movie and see all that went on, and then go and research the actual case it was inspired by. It's actually
Yeah, and like even like with the Red Dragon movies and all that stuff, like the whole story behind it and all the other offset movies, like you gotta read, like even reading the book gives way more insight into all of it. Just all of it. Just read the books.
right. And then go a little bit deeper. Go back and see what inspired the book. Like that's where I'm at. Is I want to see what the author saw that made them want to
Yeah.
sit down and write a book on this case or this case and this case
Right.
together. Like how much trauma is stored up there in that author.
So I said to somebody once when the Saw movies came out,
Uh-huh.
I sat down and had like this revelation moment. I was like, there is a person out there in the world that is sick and twisted enough to invent multiple ways to get people to basically take their own life because they don't have a choice, or he's giving them a very difficult choice. There is a human being out there that has decided to not only take those thoughts, put them on paper, and create a movie for other people to see.
Right.
And then made money off of it. And I'm like, and we're glorifying that? Like, that's okay. I've seen the movie Hostel, like the first Hostel. I was sickened to my core that there is like this ideology that this stuff happened.
Right.
And I'm just like, and everyone's like, oh, it's such a great movie. And I'm like, you do know that somebody actually sat down and thought of those horrific scenes and played them out over and over and over in their mind. And then brought it to life for cinematic entertainment. Boggles my mind sometimes. I mean, I do love a good horror movie. Mm-hmm. I do love a good horror movie, but yeah, like they came out in your gore movie love days. Absolutely. I was totally into like, I had a total gore phase too, but now I'm just like, someone actually sat down and thought of all of those ways to hurt another human being. And then.
Okay. The Saw movies or Jigsaw movies, they're inspired by the case of Stephen Marshall.
I feel like there's a lot to unload there for Mr. Marshall. I feel like that there's a lot to unload there. A lot of unresolved issues.
Right. The media actually named it Jigsaw. Jigsaw dismembered body parts of his victim and scattered them across the country. This is why the media gave him the nickname Jigsaw.
Because it was pieces of the puzzle.
The movie is based on Stephen Marshall, one of the most notorious serial killers. And there's actually a documentary out there about that on DocumentTube.
Ugh. That was the whole, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I did watch some of the movies, not all of the Saw movies. I don't think I saw all of them. I think I saw like the first 2 or 3, something like that. Because I think after 3 of them, you're just like, okay, now you're really pushing it. like, come on now. Like, really? You're really going to keep this going? You think that this still has steam in it? Cool. Good for you. I'm over it.
Right.
Like after you've ridden a roller coaster ride 3 times in a row, it's not as scary as it was the first 2, 3 times that you rode the roller coaster ride, because you know what to expect and it's not as scary anymore. The anticipation level is there.
Right.
So, yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. Like the TV show You. And I'm like, literally, this is glorifying grooming, Stockholm syndrome. My God, he kept them captive. Like, you don't think that was triggering for, like, I watched the show and I was like, this is really hard for me to watch because I've gone through some seriously messed up stuff in my life. And I'm just like, yeah, it is. It's glorifying stalking. It's trying to condition the world to like, oh, this is fine. This is normal. This happens all the time. Yes, it does. Does that make it okay? Absolutely not.
Right. It's never okay to stalk somebody. Never.
Right. But then, I mean, there was like, what was that? Oh, God. What was that movie that, holy crap. I mean, there's been so many movies about psycho people. There was, oh God, I can't even remember the name. Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride, and then what was her name? She was in Clues. Alicia Silverstone, and like she was like stalking him, and she was a teenage girl who like it was. I can't remember it.
Okay. I mean, you're giving me names. I need plot lines.
It was a teenage girl who like fell in love with like her neighbor. She was like 15 years old, and like she stalked her like older male neighbor and like caused like physical harm to him and like his girlfriend and all this stuff. And like this movie was done back in like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
It was with I think it was Alicia Silverstone. Like look up one of her first movies, and I think it was with the guy who was in The Princess Bride, Carrie, whatever his name is. Carrie Elwes. Something like that. I think it was probably like the girlfriend or something like that, or the babysitter, something really weird, you know, cheesy like that. Actually, let me see.
In 93.
What was it? What was it called?
Rush.
Yes, The Crush. That was it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that movie? I remembered like there was bees involved, or like she set a bunch of bees in his house because like his girlfriend was like allergic to bees, something like that. Like
right.
She was psycho. Like it's psycho, and I was like, this is also glorifying that like young girls can like do stuff. Like I was just yeah.
Oh come on! There is a complete thing called Mean Girls.
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
there is.
A journalist becomes the unwanted center of attention of a 14-year-old girl who pursues to sabotage his life after he refuses her sexual advancements.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it was like she was tiny, like she was a young kid, and yeah, like I remember she poured like acetone on his car, or alcohol or gasoline on top of his car too, or like scratched his car. Like she went psycho on him. Not that it was actually Alicia Silverstone, but like the character in the movie, like I remember watching this as a kid going like, is this normal? Like people do this?
Yeah.
Apparently they do. Yes. Fear with Mark Wahlberg. Yes.
Yeah. And then, you know, here's the other
Human
part
conditioning.
Have you watched, what is it? I think it's called The Haunting.
Probably.
Well, that's the same house.
That's the same house?
Yeah, the house that he moves into is the same house that's in The Haunting.
Oh. Well, that's cool. I'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Fun fact of the day. Random fact.
You know, reasons why Aeson can't watch TV.
Yeah.
It's like...
No kidding, Shannon. It's wild. Like, but then there are like these movies and books and storylines that glorify the attacker in a way. And I mean, I can appreciate, okay, well, I can say I can appreciate seeing things from different perspectives. Okay, I can appreciate that. We don't need to glorify stuff like that at all, because I have gone through some pretty horrific stuff in my life. And then when I see movies where people are being kidnapped and tortured or held hostage or whatever, you know, stalked or whatever, I'm like, that was my life for a while. and I know what it's like to live in that.
For me, I rate them like, you know, that rope's not tied correctly.
Yeah.
The door won't go that way. You know, it's like, you messed up here, here, and here. That won't actually hold a person's weight.
Yeah. Your eldest is mad that you won't let her watch certain seasons of American Horror Story. Well,
tell her to get older. Buy her own TV.
Yeah. Or it's like, you know, wait until you're educated about the subject matter in a realistic manner before you start watching the entertaining side of that.
Right.
because it's like I can watch a movie that has a kidnapping scene in it, and I'm like, it does not go down like that. Let me tell you,
Right.
it doesn't happen that way, folks.
Right.
There's just like it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've watched certain movies, and I'm just like, first of all, it doesn't happen that way, and second of all, why are you making it out to be not as scary as that? Because it's absolutely terrifying.
Right. And, why are you, hiding this part but displaying this part? Oh, it's because you need to fill 42 seconds of your film. Got it now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Even my mom, whenever she tells me, like, you should watch this show, she's like, but just to warn you, like, on the third episode, there's, like, a scene that you might not be okay with watching, so, like, you might want to just skip over that. And I'm like, cool, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I get bored with it. Once they mess up, and it's always a mess up. That's why I watch, well, right now I'm on Dr. G Medical Examiner. That one's actually holding my attention for a moment.
Your neighbor rates furniture and decor during them. Sorry.
Do what?
Sorry. During a horror movie. Be like, oh, I really like that clock in the background. Where do you think they got that from? It's like,
yes.
While the demon's dragging the child across the floor. Like, oh my God, would you look at that fireplace? I just love the crown molding on it. And like everyone's screaming and blood splattered everywhere.
Right.
That's great. I love that. That's awesome. That's funny. Like, I really like that color on the walls. No, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's quite amusing. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's like, okay, how can I decorate my house?
Is that what he does? That's hilarious. It's so funny. So funny. I wonder if I could do that for cheaper. I'm sure there's a DIY out there for that.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
or in the movie with the boy, I want the color blue from.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's like I'm psychic or something. That's funny. Bringing up memories. That's funny. That's hilarious. I love that though. Like, I really like that blue. It's kind of like a periwinkle, but it's not,
Yeah.
Funny.
If you take and you paint if you move into a house that has white walls and you get a deep maroon and you sponge it correctly, it looks very, very actively involved.
Does it?
Yes.
Before the blood spatter. Yeah, like, I didn't like it after, but like, if you like beforehand, like before shot, I really like that.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Facebook. I may have pictures of those walls that I've done.
That's hilarious.
Because when I first moved back to West Virginia, the only thing we could find that was within internet range, that was one, was this mobile home, and it was solid white, and I hate solid white.
Yeah.
Totally hate it.
Feels like a hospital.
It feels like an insane asylum.
Yeah.
So I always painted. There's the stonework. There's the stonework. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can do this right. I'll show you guys the walls I've done in sponge. And everyone said it looked like it was blood. There we go.
Oh my God, it totally does.
Yeah. That was just a maroon sponge mixed with like 3 shades of red.
I was like, that takes it from like the velvet touch to
Uh-huh.
That takes it from like that crushed velvet look to like, listen, it got a little messy in here, and we just had to make it work, okay?
Yeah, it was cool. I love it.
Like I remember the days of having the crushed velvet walls.
Uh-huh.
Like that one accent wall that was sponged with like different shades of like that color to make it look like crushed velvet. It's like, listen, it got a little messy, and we just made it work. Okay, hope it looks all right.
Right. But no, I love those walls. I cannot wait. I think I got another year before I can paint here. We take turns because we have 2 different color palettes. Joe calls mine, the burlesque house, and he prefers the gray tones.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many patterns I want to try.
I know, like just different color combos and tones, and yeah, I get it. I understand.
Right. Yeah. So that's
Someone's messaging me.
probably me. It's probably delayed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my alarm. That's what it was. It was pinging at me.
Yep. No, we do need to go. Although I do want to bring up that, this Friday will be Psychic Saturday. Be sure to go ahead and book. It is a 50% off sale. So you can go ahead and, get your appointments. And, also I have the gallery reading, which is a $10 ticket. You get a free mini reading, and then you get everything else on top of that. And I have to go. So.
Like, now you've got an alarm buzzing on you. That's funny.
All right. So that's my alarm. So we want to take a moment and thank our baristas. Thank you, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Taylor C. Van, and Caitlin Bell and Devin. If you would like to become a barista and support the network, please visit tcspnetwork.com. And you've got some patrons.
I do. Thank you to Nikki, Ann, Brenda, Bambi, and Kelly. You guys keep my channels going hot every single month. I appreciate you guys and sticking around getting your monthly readings. If anyone does want to get monthly readings with me, you can find me on Patreon under the Pendulum's Path, and you can sign up for as little as $3 a month, $3 a month. You can support the Pendulum's Path. And different tiers going up from there. You can get monthly readings with me. So I think it's well worth the price. And what you get.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I didn't want to copy you.
That's all right. You wouldn't be copying.
Okay.
You would be inspired by me.
Well, I've seen others do it, but I would enjoy doing it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like pre-recorded videos, and then you get sent the link to the video, and then you get to watch the video, and it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that on the website, not through the Patreon.
There you go.
Yeah, as a subscription service. But guys, tune back in tomorrow night. It will be Mountain Bears, and we will be talking about everything in the LGBT network. And with that, we will see Miss Natalie next month. She may be in live shows herself, hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. It's like I'm booked every single day, which is wonderful to say. So I have bookings every single day. I have clients every single day, and by the time I'm done with this, I'm like, I'm so tired. So I am very blessed and thankful to be working every single day. Private clients and on network. I love it. So I'm very blessed.
I'm very glad for that, darling.
Yeah. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful evening. We'll see you soon.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
Bye.